Okay, so Sean says, wait until we're recording to start bitching. Go.
Yeah, so Blab is just the worst. But that's okay. We found a solution
This
last
episode
night.
sponsored by Blab.
we had our Ask Us Anything last night, and Blab was just not cooperative, and it wouldn't let Dave on or like half the people who wanted to join, which sucked. So
it's not like only it had a morality filter. Like, no,
it was too much.
It's about time, really.
Yeah, it really thinned the audience and a third of us. So it kind of sucked, and it's just been the questions weren't populating, and we've hated the whole thing about how we can't have no privacy before or after. Yeah, there needs to be a green room. So Ask Us Anything. Christine was on it, and we have to use not have to. We're getting to use a Zoom room for our what do you call it? Our
for boot camp.
For boot camp next week. And so we figured, hey, if they have a webinar service that will
MGN is somehow giving all three of us high fives at the same time, and I have no idea how he's doing.
3 hands.
He does.
Wow, that's amazing. Are they all buff?
They are.
So if they can handle, thousands of people on a service at the same time with comments, we figure they have a service robust enough that they can handle what Blab does. It's paid instead of free, but whatever. We just want a solution. So I think that starting next week we'll be on Zoom, all the time.
2 weeks.
Oh, because we're not recording next week.
For you people on the audio feed, it'll be next week, but you don't care because you listen on the audio feed.
Right.
But next week for the live show, we're actually recording boot camp at that time. sterlingandstone.net/bootcamp for you live viewers who aren't there yet. So we won't be recording, but 2 weeks from then.
I have a feeling all the live viewers are.
I get that feeling too.
But yeah, it should be really exciting, and I guess we're going to be kind of all Zoom all the time. We use it for company meetings now, and it's been flawless and really spectacular. So pretty exciting.
Flawless. We can't have that.
Must have. We have many other.
We're still going to keep worst show ever on this service, though, right?
We actually should. We should. One more thing to bitch about.
So I just realized that Dave and I have the exact same mic arm.
Yeah,
ooh, it's sexy.
Yeah, I got it. I got mine a little while ago. I got tired of my stand where I had to be bumping into it and all that shit. So
the next SPP we record, I will be standing, and I will be in my new office. So that's pretty exciting.
Sean got the same not the same standing desk, but from the same company as I did. Which, by the way, thanks to you companies that didn't sponsor us and send us new desks, we took our business elsewhere. So Sean,
it's not like we really asked.
Yeah, well, that's true. They were supposed to listen and hear about us.
I think we could have done that if we asked, but I don't like asking for shit. And Johnny was like, "Hey, should we send some kind of?"
I don't mind asking at all, and so I was like, let's ask.
Yeah, and it would have required some media kit or something. Amy said, "You guys can't just ask; you have to produce a media."
That's where I felt. That's where my resolve fell apart. Was once work was required. I just want people to give me shit. So, but because I know people have asked about mine, and they're going to ask about Sean's once he has one too. Is there's a company called The Human Solution, which actually kind of sounds a little sinister now that I'm thinking about it. But it's called The Human Solution, and it's actually here.
The final human solution.
It's actually here. They aren't sponsoring us. It's here in Austin. It's about 20 minutes from where I live. So I just went down and tried them out, and that's what and it's a lot cheaper than Next Desk, and I got
it's much cheaper. It's
reclaimed wood, and Sean got a bamboo.
Yeah, I like the reclaimed wood a lot. Actually, the one I really wanted, there was this local wood. Did you see it? It was this
artisan hipster wood.
Yeah,
it had all sorts of weird wood though. I wanted something smooth enough
from the rainforests of Austin, Texas,
that I could write on a little bit if I needed.
Did you see the one that was old weathered wood? I like the aesthetic of that a lot, but I wanted a totally flat surface to work on.
Right, so. Mine is a nice in between. I don't know what this is, but it is reclaimed wood. It is planks, and it does have a rough surface. But I don't do a lot of writing, so the amount of writing, on notes, but the amount of writing that I do on the desk with a pen is small enough that it's fine. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, yours is gorgeous. I like it a lot. But the bamboo totally works for me, and I like it. It's thinner, and I like bamboo a lot. And they had just dropped the bamboo by like $300.
Right, it's a lot cheaper than the other ones we were looking at.
Yeah, so it's the desk itself is $4.99 for anyone out there looking for a stand-up desk. This is a really
I love that this isn't a sponsor. See, this is why these other guys should have sponsored us. Look at how much we talk when we're not even sponsored.
So the desk itself, including the motor and everything, is $4.99, and then you pick your top. And the bamboo top was like $200. I paid $700 something for the entire desk, including shipping and tax. And like, that's a great deal. Like,
Didn't you get assembly too? I just assembled it myself.
Yeah, I got assembly. It's actually going to be brought to the house before I even move in. So when I go next week, like my desk, my office will be ready to go. I'm really excited about that.
I'll bet you get stiffed, but you move next door to a guy with a really nice standing desk.
So,
Thomas Bennett says, bullshit, make me the official asker for Sterling Stone. People always say yes to the wheelchair.
I need a stand-up chair, he says.
I got this week, I got a Bobo standing desk, a $250 one on Amazon that you put on top of your desk. So I haven't put it together yet.
Haven't you tried the one that you put on top of your desk before?
No, that was from Stand Steady, and it wasn't steady.
Okay, so I got
so yeah, I wasted money before on this.
Okay, so I got one that do you remember the Kickstarter with the stand-up desk?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what happened to that?
Okay, it was supposed to be here first of the year, and they had shipping delays, and it came, I kid you not, yesterday. I don't need it anymore, and the boxes are super heavy, and now they're just stacked with the other boxes that I have to move. Like, just whatever.
Save it for me when I get there.
Yeah, all right, you can have.
You're gonna want a better one than that.
I'll just keep it boxed. It looked cool on the Kickstarter, but I don't want it now. I have.
It's got a nice motor and everything. That one is manual.
Yeah, this is cool. It has preset buttons, so you can press a button and it goes, to exact height that you want. It's kind of cool. I'm excited about it.
Schlosser says, "LOL, I got that stand-up desk from the Kickstarter campaign."
It's going to get to Jan in Germany in like 6 years.
Yeah, he got it before us, probably.
Oh, I'm so annoyed. It's been Johnny, were you all looking at the chairs there too at the Human Solution?
No, because I like my chair enough that I wasn't worried about it. I did, however, get an ergonomic keyboard because I had the sawed-off shotgun keyboard, remember?
Oh, yeah, I was looking at those.
I fucking hated those keyboards. I was like, I typed about 3 words on it. I was like, well, this is bullshit because it has some sort of a ball hinge in it and they're all like wonky. So I ended up getting the Bluetooth cousin of the Battleship of the Death Star, which is
that's the one I have.
Yeah, which I like a lot. It's the Microsoft ergonomic, and I don't know the model number, but the old one used to be wired, and this is wireless. It's Bluetooth, and I just leave it on all the time, and it hasn't run out of batteries yet. And
it doesn't run out of batteries often, but it hiccups sometimes with the Bluetooth.
I haven't had a hiccup yet. It's been great, and I got this this mouse too, which I really like, which is Bluetooth.
Is it a newer or older keyboard?
It's newer. It's
they had that because I was looking into wireless keyboards to replace my old wireless Microsoft Battleship that I had, and one of them had a lot of complaints from people that it had no encryption on the wireless part. So basically somebody could, conceivably stand near your house or in your apartment complex or whatever and capture everything you type into the keyboard.
Yeah, I don't have the energy to worry about that. I don't. Like, somebody wants to steal my books as I'm writing them. I guess that's okay. No, I really like it though. There's 5 stars from me on the Microsoft Bluetooth keyboard, except that people are probably stealing my shit out of the air. So there's
yeah, it's a great keyboard. Anyone have anything cool?
I do. I have several cool things because I always fight with something cool to, like, I want to tell you about cool shit that is cool to me and not necessarily cool to anybody else. Like, here's some cool shit going on with me. And so I tried this time to actually think of something that was a little bit more widely applicable. Like, you guys will talk about something you watched or read.
Yay!
And so I started, before I was diverted to read my own shit, I started rereading the His Dark Materials books, which, if anybody hasn't read
those are great. Yeah,
they're fantastic. The author is Philip Pullman, and the first one is The Golden Compass, which they made apparently a bad movie about. I haven't seen the movie, but the books are great. There's 3 of them. And
so that's the ideas in those books are really, really big. I happen to be reading those during the infamous book that I wrote that will never get published. Right.
Oh.
That's what I was reading.
Based on what you said about that book, I can see how that would happen.
Yeah, it very much influenced some of the ideas in there, and not influenced the ideas so much as gave me permission to like anything goes, right? Because those books are not afraid to.
Oh, there's some serious shit in that. And actually, I started by telling Austin, like, I think you might really like these books, and I started reading them again, and I was like, he might not be ready. Like, there's some shit in here that's pretty sinister.
It really is. Dave would like those books.
No, Dave would like and I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't read it, but what the Lord Asriel is trying to do in book 1, I'm like, Dave would love this book. I can tell Dave later if he wants to know.
My something cool is actually something that's scripted by Dave without actually being scripted by Dave. But Dave, do you want to go first?
My something cool is actually an alert. Twitter had it's not them. Somehow somebody has managed to access 32 million Twitter passwords and login credentials. So they're putting them up for sale on the dark web. And Twitter says it wasn't them, that it's probably the password, the information, the credentials have been somehow maybe caught by malware that basically was a keylogger. And
Sean, do you think Dave misunderstands what something cool is?
Well, no. This is just something that just broke a couple days ago. So if you should probably change your Twitter password. And if you use the Twitter password for other accounts, definitely change those other accounts as well, because your shit might be out there and people might be hacking into your stuff. And already, like quite a few, the Twitter co-founder, his thing was hacked, I believe. So
so. Quickly before you get to something cool, I've actually been.
I just chased everyone away to go change their Twitter.
Well, no, Dave has been influencing me a little bit. So I don't care about my Bluetooth keyboard, but I have been looking into like password stuff, and the idea of monitoring my passwords constantly is just a huge pain in the ass. So Dave, thumbs up or thumbs down on a program like 1Password?
Yeah,
1Password's great. That's what I use.
I've never used it. I have no idea how it even works. But
you'll love it. You'll love it.
There's also LastPass.
LastPass is also great.
Which one's better, LastPass or 1Password?
I prefer 1Password, but I don't think one is better than the other.
Redacted. My something cool should just be something horrendous every week. It
should be called something horrendous.
Yeah. No, we should save that for worst show ever. Okay, so the two people on our team, both who I totally trust here, we've got Christine says LastPass and Seth says 1Password.
Mm-hmm. I saw that. So it's a split decision.
Yeah, I like.
There was a breach with
LastPass
last year, but their stuff is encrypted, and I don't believe that any of the information actually got out. People basically got the encrypted stuff, which they very likely could not breach. But LastPass came out immediately and admitted to it, unlike some companies that kind of hem and haw and. They say, well, something might have happened. We're not sure. And, we're looking into it. And then you don't hear anything for like 3 months.
All right. So was there something cool in there?
Well, I'm just alerting everybody. That's something cool.
Okay.
That is, just for
something
the record,
paranoid.
that is
in some circles. In some circles, it's cool.
It's cool to those dark web people.
Okay, so 4chan would give you a big thumbs up on your something cool. Good way to go, Dave.
In the face of 4chan.
All right, thank you for doing the Lord's work, Dave. Okay, so for my something cool is a show I was telling Dave about yesterday that it's just really good. Caught me by surprise. I think I'll see the final episode of the first season tonight, but it's one of those English shows, so that means the seasons are only 6 episodes. They're not terribly long, very digestible, and it's a show. I think it's Netflix exclusive. I think Netflix partnered with BBC. It's called Happy Valley, and it's the name is totally ironic. It's Dave actually guessed the hook, and I was explaining the pilot to him.
What else would you do with that hook?
And it's just such an ugly hook. And the fact that he not only came up with it so fast, but was like laughing when he did, it's just sad.
I'll bet 100 babies are murdered.
Okay, well, you're close. You're on the right track. But anyway, Happy Valley, it's very English, and it's it feels very real to me. The characters have a lot of depth and dimension, and it's very well acted. It has great twists and turns. It's definitely a little dark, but it has a sense of humor to it.
Children are in jeopardy.
Children are definitely in jeopardy. And it's 6 hours for the season. I'm about ready to see season 2. And just as another note, I know by something cool, like 4 months ago was Bloodline season 1, and I just saw season 2, which is better than season 1. Bloodline it's a little slow in the first couple episodes of season 1, but that's a great show, and season 2 delivers completely.
You know what excuse I hear a lot from writers, and this is something I was remembering when Dave was telling his something horrendous, is a lot of people will claim that their Amazon accounts were hacked because somebody stole their Twitter password and they're using the same thing, and that's why all their book covers are so shitty. And I think it's just because they're unprepared and not paranoid enough.
A serious breach. That would be pretty awesome. Like if the people of 4chan collectively hacked everybody's books and like made horrible book covers, that would be awesome. No,
well, but
it looks like it sometimes.
But unfortunately, I almost wish it was, one of those scenarios that's causing so many indie authors to have bad book covers, because then at least there would be a solution. Whereas the fact that they just have shitty book covers, there's no answer.
Yeah, there was no answer, but thank God, or thank the gods, or thank Mother Ayahuasca. I don't know. Thank everybody.
Why does everybody know ayahuasca? Ever since we started talking about that, people are like, "Oh, my neighbor's 6 cats all do ayahuasca every day."
That would explain a lot.
Heard
about cats.
Of that drug before.
We're sponsored by ayahuasca.
Brought to you by the Universal Unconsciousness.
Yes. So 99 Designs, definitely where you want to go. If you don't want to look like you have a book cover that has been hacked by 4chan, you want to go to 99 Designs. You want to get a cover that looks like a best-selling cover. You want a book cover that competes with the other book covers, because it really is like the Hunger Games sometimes, this whole book thing.
Book covers fighting each other?
Yeah, book cover. Yeah, they are fighting. They're fighting. Who
wants to write that?
They're fighting for readers. And if
I just got the best idea for an opening scene. Okay, people come up through the ground from underground tunnels, and they have to run forward and grab the good book covers, and those who are left behind have terrible book covers.
That's probably,
I actually love that.
I like it. Hunger Games. So you want to win that battle. You want to win the battle for readers. You want to be on top. You don't want to be dead in the water, so to speak. So you want to go to 99 Designs because they have millions of designers, zillions maybe, I don't know, waiting to give you.
We've already said zillions. You can't go down to millions. It sounds
right.
like
they got rid of us.
Are we willing to go on record and say that if you don't use 99 Designs, you will probably be killed in some sort of fight to the death?
I don't know about that, but you will probably die alone and penniless. Because nobody will be buying
your soul will
books.
die. Let's put it that way.
At the very least. And you don't need to let that happen. We should play a Sarah McLachlan song under us right now. And 99 Designs is here to save you, is to save your career as a writer and give you great book covers. We've used them several times before, have never been disappointed, always had more book covers than we could even choose from. So go there today.
So Logan says you want to be on top unless you're Dave and you're on Blab.
Start your custom design today at 99designs.com/SPP. That's the link where you get this special power pack upgrade that gets you more designer time and attention. 99designs.com/SPP. I will say, now that Seth has joined us, Seth Atwood, our guest today, to talk about an amazing new announcement that I'm very excited to talk about. I am a little disappointed that the happy cat, is it, in the background that we've seen when we've talked to you before, is not here?
What the hell?
Yeah, I'm in a different part of my office. I have different stuff behind me. Although I do have Laser Kitty here, so.
Well, that's good.
Well, that's
happy
okay.
cats are over there. Laser Kitty's here. I'm in that quadrant of the office.
That's very good. I've been excited for this episode for a month.
Yeah, it's been really hard not to talk about this.
You guys have
You
done
came
great.
so close last night. Oh my God. Ask us anything, Johnny. So when you were
I was
saying,
careful.
but anyone paying attention could pretty much untangle what that is. But it was fine. We were 12 hours away. So this is super, super awesome.
So should we start with a Story Shop beta update first, or do we want to delve?
Yeah, I think we need to cock tease a little bit longer. So yeah, let's do an update because we got happy dancing emojis a half hour.
Well, now to be fair, the status was upgraded from frowny emoji to stern-faced emoji.
Yes, that's true.
Do we have an emoji?
So as of about half an hour ago, we quietly reopened the doors to Story Shop.
Yay!
As anybody who's been following knows, it's been kind of a rough week, and about 2 days in, we actually had to kind of pull the plug while we investigated. We had support tickets going like 2 chains upstream, multiple teams involved, and it all got it was getting sorted out this morning. And then I met with Josh, our developer, today, and we agreed let's turn it back on. So it's open, and we're keeping an eye on it. There may be some issues. If you go to the status site, for anybody who's watching, if you go to status.storyshopapp.com, there's some specific instructions, because web browsers all have their own idiosyncrasies. And so now that we're back up, there are going to be some issues related to people's web browsers that they're going to have to take steps to solve. So for anybody who hasn't noticed yet, there is a site we created this week just for giving specific technical reports at status.storyshopapp.com. And that's where people can go to kind of read this announcement about how we're back up and what's been going on, see all the details that have transpired the past week, and see some instructions to kind of get back in. So
that's the site that I go to if I want to have the shit scared out of me as to what would happen if you weren't on the team.
Yeah, that's the place where I'll be getting, I take the kid gloves off and just talk tech over there for people that want to follow at that degree of detail, because, at that level, we want community involvement. So.
Yeah, Seth, do you want to talk about, I guess we can lightly cover some of this because, not everybody who listens to this show listens to the Ask Us Anything. And besides, I think that'll air in a few weeks anyway. So just quickly, like what the outage was. And I know one thing that we talked about yesterday when people were asking for an update was the fact that we kind of opened the doors all at once and said, hey, everybody who backed on Kickstarter can become beta now. And that was probably maybe a mistake. I know you weren't on the show yesterday, so Johnny and I were just kind of extrapolating a little bit. But beta maybe should have been private invite, like, hey, who wants to?
Because a lot of people don't understand that beta is gonna be
right. Because this isn't, hey, Story Shop is now available and your 3 months or year or whatever, that you backed is now, that clock is ticking. Like, this is extra time. This is all bonus. This is just, hey, we're opening. The thinking was we opened beta for everybody so that we could start the conversation early and get a lot of people using it. And, to our credit, all those people using it at once showed us the vulnerabilities, which is good. Like, we got those out of the way now. But knowing what we know now, would you have done it the same way again? Do you think it was the right thing? And kind of what does it look like going forward?
Yeah, I'm glad you bring that up. We've been having a lot of conversations kind of internally about exactly this, because it's kind of, this week has been all about what do you do when your worst fears come true, right? You just keep going.
Oh, Dave.
My life.
Yeah. So we've been taking a really close look, not because things had to go upstream. We had a lot of time where we were just like, what do we do? So we took a really good retrospective look at, like, how could this have taken shape a little differently? And I think if we were to do it again, and if anybody out there is considering doing the same thing, we would have, like you said, started, not only done a limited invite, but we would have started it months ago. We would have done like concentric circles outwards where a few more people come in. So maybe we would have started out with like okay, we have this thing now where you can create worlds. That's good enough to get our very first testers in. Empty worlds. How's
that makes sense. So like we could have been using it internally for a few months, right?
Yeah, we could have like maybe focused on characters first and been like, okay, now we're rolling characters out, and maybe invite more people at that point. And then once we throw elements in, get that tested with the existing group, expand it a little further. So I think, in hindsight, there would have been just a different beta trajectory. We would have made some more decisions about how to more fairly but gradually let people in, some kind of lottery or something maybe. And it is tricky though, because the nature of the problem was that we've been plugging along for months with a small team of people, and we never hit the threshold to cause this hyperbolic upswing. It was like once simultaneous activity on the server gets to a certain point and there's enough open database connections, this weird bug kicked in, and then it's like a feedback loop upwards until everything crashes. So while we were in development and testing, we never hit the threshold. And so we're still, because our main focus was just getting through it before we kind of retroanalyze it, we don't know exactly where that threshold is. So it's tough to say in hindsight, right? There's a good chance that we would have plugged along and we would have let in maybe 100 people, 200 people by the time we then said, okay, now everybody who's signed up to our email list and the outer rings let everybody in. Even that might have been what triggered the threshold. So it's hard to say, but yeah, the lesson to move forward with is definitely to, and this is our mantra anyway, is release early, release often. So in hindsight, what do? Next time we release earlier and more frequently.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And like Tammy's saying here, there was a clear lack of understanding of what beta means. You could see it from the support requests, and that's true. It's people want this thing that is fully functioning, and it's not quite there yet.
Did we communicate that though?
Well, yes, but
not as well as maybe we should have.
Yeah, right. And I think that there's a general understanding of, I mean, we said this is beta, it's not ready yet. Because we promised we'd hit beta by, I think the end of April was our goal. We hit it in May, but that was beta. And we said, that this doesn't count. This is extra time. We did explain that it was beta rather than the ready to go story shop, but I don't think we really got into the weeds of what that might mean. Like we said, make sure you save all your stuff, it is, but anyway.
Well, there's a couple of things to speak to on that, which is, first off, I've just been so amazed with the community that you guys have gathered around you. Like there are some real nasty people on the internet, and I haven't had to deal with any of them since this happened. Like the people that have backed through the Kickstarter, the people that you guys have around you, like the people that are watching now or hear this that I've interacted with in private tickets and publicly, like, thank you so much. Because I've seen people get nasty in similar circumstances before, and that's just not happening here. So that's been great. And in addition to kind of all the activity that's happening on the public feedback site, like I've dealt with personally over 100 private support tickets as well. Those are all conversations that I've been having with people, and yeah, everybody's been great on it.
Are you sleeping?
My bedtime's a little later than it was a week ago. My right time's a little. I'm doing okay. But
David M. Law, just real quick, he says, I've loved all of Story Shop. It's amazeballs, and the beta experience has been wonderful. I love that my input on the colors is in consideration. Most apps such don't think of colorblind people.
Oh yeah.
I didn't even know that occurred. That's pretty cool.
This is the level of detail we're getting down to. We had a conversation. It's active. If anybody wants to go to feedback.storyshopapp.com, that's where this community engagement and conversation, that's where the channel is for private and public discussion.
That's one of my favorite things about the app so far, by far.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that when I saw this ticket popped up, it doesn't have the most comments or the most votes, but I saw on the panel, it jumped out. I was like, yes, I want to speak to this, because I love striving towards WCAG. It's the 2.0 compliance is the tech term, but there are these standards, and eventually there's a good chance that there will be like that they'll be mandated, that there'll be laws for accessibility, to make sure that people with screen readers and assistive devices can use our software. And I'm interested in it personally down to the level of color blindness. There are tools that exist that I've always wanted to really sink my teeth into that let you like view any interface through like several different types of color blindness. It filters as if it, so I'm excited to get into that and to solve these kinds of problems so that really like story shops for everybody, especially, you know, the potential for dictation and screen readers, and we're headed there, and that's exciting.
So now this new idea of releasing early, release often, will that be for the new surprise thing that you're about to announce right now?
Yes, it will. It will. So yeah.
Okay, but I don't know if you're actually about to announce it, but I was wondering if I could give some non-specific lead up to this, just describing the circumstances that birthed it before we do. So basically, ever since we started taking Story Shop really seriously, like this was when the Kickstarter was still running, and we always there was always the possibility that it wouldn't fund, but we were confident that it would. Like we felt that it would, but there were of course some nail biting moments, but we were planning for the future. And Sean and I know just started talking about something before we talked to Seth, and then we kind of sprung it on him, and we were like, wouldn't this be cool? And he's like, oh, I don't know. But it was the idea to add on a new module that would act as, you know, most, because Story Shop is a paid product, right? Like it's software as a service. You're paying monthly for anybody who didn't get a Kickstarter, or especially the lifetime people who will never have to pay again for the base model. You know, you usually have a freemium. Like I think Slack has one where you can have up to a certain. We might still be on the free one. Are we paying for Slack? I don't even know. But there's so it's got a good freemium one, right? So you're basically Asana. I think we might be paying for, but whatever.
Yeah,
like they're base.
We pay for Asana. We don't pay for Slack. We're paying for Zoom.
We're paying for Zoom, but there was a free model of Zoom, and you could have like 20-minute meetings. So usually there's some sort of a freemium where people can use it and try it out. And then eventually, and a lot of people can get away with the free version. And then you get to a point where it's like, okay, well, I love this service and I want the extra features, or I want the extra time, or I want these things unlocked. So let's, I'll go ahead and pay for it. So what we started to look at in terms of our freemium, I remember there were a few ways. So what if we had just some very, you know, like you could build 2 or 3 worlds for free, and then if you wanted to add more, and then we were like, well, what if we did this, which is the thing we're about to reveal? But it was a whole extra thing. It's a big idea.
It will be beyond it being a big idea. It was something that we need. Like this,
we need, right? That's the model, and you'll see this in a second when we actually start talking about it. This is something that I have just been salivating for, because I'm just continuing to work, and I'm like, damn it, I wish it were ready. And then we threw it at Seth, and Seth was like, oh, I could see that down the road, but holy shit, right? Like that's not holy shit even in a that sounds great way, but like, wow, that's a lot of work, and I don't even know how we do that. But this will be the thing that we offer for free as sort of a piece of Story Shop, because Story Shop is now becoming this larger platform. And what Seth has been developing in beta is will just become Planner. It's part of Story Shop, and Story Shop is this larger thing. So do you want to make the official announcement as to what we're working on now, Seth?
Yeah, absolutely. So for people who have seen Story Shop or who will see Story Shop, when you click to slide out the sidebar, currently there are a few things in there like worlds, characters, elements, outlines. And as we were working on things, particularly when we got to the outlines component, every time I slid that drawer out, I saw this item that wasn't there yet, right? So here, I'm going to read the elevator pitch, because we did a kind of a jam session just to...
Wait, just before you do that, can I just mention that? So Story Shop is the kind of the portal, right? So that's the platform. So what everybody has until this day known as Story Shop is actually now called Story Shop Planner. So we've got Story Shop, which is all the different modules that we will build over time, all fit into Story Shop. And the one that everybody currently knows about is Story Shop Planner. And this new one is what Seth is about to talk about.
I mean, that's what I just said, right? Like, did you
say Planner?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
so
I'm sorry then.
I was waiting for the
No,
punchline.
I suck, apparently.
Looking at porn.
I guess so. Sorry.
Okay, so without further ado, our plan here, here's the elevator pitch. StoryShop Writer is a web app to help authors write books. Writer will make it simple to do amazing things and delightful to do the everyday things. Writer will integrate tightly with our existing suite of planning tools, and it will allow users to compile output ready for distribution. Boom.
So just in case you missed that in that whirlwind elevator pitch, StoryShop Writer, which is, we said, what is the best, how can we design the best writing software that we need to do our own stuff, and that then we think that the rest of you are going to want, and make it free.
Yeah, and that's the key thing to note is the way that we found to splice this in is to start for free. Anybody can come on into StoryShop. So StoryShop is now kind of, it's not that StoryShop has become Planner, it's that StoryShop has really kind of become an umbrella that's going to have a lot of things under it. So come on into StoryShop for free, use our writer. So what'll happen is when you slide it out, then it'll either be like our planning tools will either be grayed out, or you'll be able to interact with them just to see examples of characters and elements and outlines just to get teased. But the writing tool itself will be fully functional from the start, and will be the first of kind of many future tools we've already started talking about, because Writer's actually been in the works, like I said, since we started working on outlines and realized that the writing tool we're using to create outlines, which is actually built on Facebook's open source tool called Draft.js. So StoryShop uses the exact same code base that's humongously supported and backed by Facebook for anytime you're typing something on Facebook, it's the same code that powers when you're typing on StoryShop. So we're just going to bend it into the best writing tool ever for free. And it's going to compile for output, for distribution, because that's the thing we found is I mean, that's what's going to make us different. Like, and that'll be the first step towards later tools. Won't it be great when you click a button to compile the output, if then it just like plugs into your StoryShop dashboard and you can automatically send it out to your different channels? And
right. So
we
were looking.
It cracks the nut wide open to have planning tools and a writing tool. Then we can do everything.
Right. So our current tool is great. It's been great. I mean, I wrote my very first book in what we use now, but it's been years. It's a 10-year-old app at this point. It's not meant for collaboration at all. So we have major crashing Dropbox save issues all the time. It's clunky. The UI is clunky. It's the very best that the market has, but it doesn't really serve our needs anymore. We've kind of outgrown it. So Word is not the solution.
What?
Right. We still need like the buckets and the file structures and the ability to output to Mobi, and EPUB and PDF and all of that. So, but we also need real-time collaboration. We basically need.
By real-time collaboration, we're talking about like if you've ever been in a Google Doc while somebody else is in the Google Doc and you guys share it, and you see like the blue cursor and the red cursor or something, and you can almost do a chat. That's the sort of thing that we're looking, everything cloud-based. I think it's important to point out that we started, when I say we, I mean Sean and I and Dave started this discussion with what do we like about this and what can we change about this? And when we brought it to Seth and he started like looking at it seriously, because I think Seth had this tier where like, like, oh, that's in the future or whatever. And then it was like, boom, he's on it. And he's like, well, we can do this now. Let's do this now. And when that shift happened, he changed our discussion of this, but different, to throw all that out. What's the best tool? What do we need in the best tool? Let's start from nothing. And what do we need to build the best tool so that there aren't presumptions? I mean, is that basically it, Seth?
Yeah, that speaks to our next immediate step is, I'm planning to post a Kickstarter update where we're going to announce Writer shortly after the podcast. And then also make it clear that we're going to start involving people with this immediately. So like pre-release instead of release early, release often, we're starting from scratch. So we've had those conversations with you guys now about what do you want? What do you imagine as being this like, learn everything about all the other writing tools and then forget it and start over. But we want to have that conversation with kind of everybody to make sure that we don't miss anything. So we'll be getting together. I think our vehicle will be Google Forms that we'll send links out to. That'll just be simple questions, and we'll trickle them out over the coming weeks as we flesh out our own plan for what this will be to make sure we catch everything.
Tammy Lebrecht asks.
I actually just answered that, but go ahead, Dave.
Talk way back about allowing integration import between StoryShop and Scrivener. Is that a dead branch now?
Yeah,
it's not dead. It's just that, and you'll see now if you go into StoryShop in the outlines, you can already export your outlines to the OPML format, which is what Scrivener accepts. And one of the reasons we realized that one of the things that made StoryShop Writer feel more urgent was on deeper exploration when I realized that like there just aren't that many points in Scrivener for us to intersect with. We can output this outline format, and that's the only thing then that Scrivener is able to accept. So to get the kind of deep integration that we want in StoryShop, because what we'll be doing is we'll be bringing over all the stuff you have in outlines where you're able to reference characters and elements. That'll be in your writing tool too. So, and that's when you really need your attributes and your details, left-handed, right-handed, color, what does this person look like? You don't need that so much in beats, but you definitely need it when you're fleshing your beats out. So to get that kind of thing where like you'll be able to write your story and click a character's name and get a panel to fly out that shows at a glance everything and editable. And, we needed to make our own tool and our own platform out here in the cloud, because outputting to OPML was our only option for Scrivener integration, and it's not enough, to my mind, to satisfy the problem.
To maximize the whole point of doing everything in StoryShop, if you can't then use it as fluidly as you would. I mean, to be clear on this, like Scrivener is, and we do love Scrivener. That's what we use every day. It has a way more features, I think I'm speaking correctly about this, than StoryShop Writer will. So if you are like a script writer for right now,
no, I don't think that's an accurate statement. I think
you don't think so. Because I'm thinking of,
no.
I thought the whole point was that we were streamlining to the features that we needed, and if you needed a more robust tool for very specific.
It won't have any bloat, but the way the UI works, there will be an elegant solution for everything. I'm trying really hard not to say things like more elegant, because this isn't about beating up on Scrivener, because Scrivener is a fantastic app that has served us very well for a long time. It is a wonderful, wonderful tool, and we would not have built our business without it. Quite frankly, like it's great, but it's not what we're building now, and we are building a really elegant solution that it will evolve along in the same way that StoryShop Planner is. Sorry for not listening, Johnny. Is evolving along with the community. This will too, and so. Like Logan just asked, will it make books all pretty like my Vellum? Yes, not immediately, but over time, graphic, Johnny, a lot of the things that we're doing right now with Robin and Donovan to really make our ebooks beautiful, that will become part of the focus, and so I don't think there's anything that Scrivener does that StoryShop won't do in its way, but everything that we introduce will be an elegant solution. So one example that I'll take here is the way track changes works in Scrivener. It's not only not a good tool for collaboration in the way that we write, as in sharing outlines and copy. When we need to have an editor work on that, it's clunky, right? You have to use snapshots. If they're on, PC or Mac, it's rough. So thinking about, it's not just collaboration as in one-on-one or two-on-one or sharing stuff. It's how do you get that to your editor? How do you get it to your developmental editor? How do you get that stuff back? You could just invite them to your StoryShop link, and they can do it in there.
We currently do that via a Word export and then back in, and that is clunky as shit.
And Mike Nelson says, will StoryShop Writer require an internet connection to use, or will there be a way to write without the internet connected?
Yeah, so this speaks to kind of the platform itself, because what I'm about to say for Writer is true for anything and everything StoryShop. which is for right now, you need an active internet connection, especially during beta. But our goal and a high priority for us is to use a modern best practice of you rely on the browser's local storage first, and then you stay synced through an internet connection. And that's kind of the way to look at it, is really like StoryShop is a layer on top of this incredibly powerful piece of software that's been battle hardened for 15 years called your web browser. We just write code that like takes it to the next level. So yeah, the short answer is we will be using local storage for when you're not connected and staying synced up when you are connected. And that's before we even go to the next step of having native apps for Android and iOS and whatever other platforms are popular. So that's even the next generation. But even to start, yeah, if your connection dies, you're not going to lose your work.
Yeah.
Is Dropbox the right metaphor here? So if you have well, let's use a text document. So if Sean and I just have like a text edit document, just very, very simple stuff, and I change that, well, of course, then it's going to have like sync issues and stuff. But if you make changes, if you update something that's offline on Dropbox, then the next time you connect, it synchronizes with the cloud, right? Like you can work offline, but then it syncs when you have a connection. Is that similar?
Yeah, but where the analogy breaks down is there are no files on your computer for StoryShop. Mm-hmm. So that's the difference. Is well, if you output, if you export, if you save for Mobi or EPUB, there are ways to get things out, but natively, StoryShop lives completely in the cloud.
So there was actually a question in the comments here, and I know that you and I addressed this when we were doing one of the earlier writer meetings. It actually isn't a question, it's just a comment. I don't want to have to write in a browser. And I don't know if your plan for this has changed, but I know that we talked about doing something very soon, so that honestly it was a way of, it technically was a browser, but it didn't look like a browser, because that was my comment too. Yeah, as I said, I'm not going to want to write in a browser either. Like I want something that, even if it's not technically an app by your definition, it feels like something that I'm launching and then I'm using, and it has native tools and it doesn't have back and forth buttons and my bookmarks and shit.
Yeah, and the way to look at that is, that's what I mean too. We'll be moving to like native apps next. So we start by just nailing the experience in the browser, and then StoryShop will always and forever, like the hive of it, the core of it, the mothership is always in the cloud and will always be in the cloud. What we'll do is gradually release tools that are more native to different platforms, so that when you're on your iPhone, it'll feel a little more iPhone-y to use StoryShop. And when you're on your Android, it'll feel a little more Android-y. And when you're on desktop, it'll feel a little more desktop-y. But right from the start, I believe, for us, it's important to present a distraction-free and minimal editor experience. So even though we haven't done our first wireframes of it I'm pretty sure that if you're in StoryShop Writer and you go full screen in your web browser, you won't be able to differentiate from being full screen in a desktop writing application.
What about the idea of no native files on your desktop, or on your computer? Because I'm trying to speak as the the writer out there who's listening to this and thinking, well, I don't know that I trust the idea of everything in the cloud. Or what if I like this, right? I like the security of knowing that there's something that's on because right now it may be technically in the cloud because it's Dropbox that's syncing to the cloud, but I still have a native copy, and I know that it's making native backups. And there's something about the warm security of knowing, like, look, there it is right there.
Well, that's hub by export, like I was saying. Export. What we'll eventually do too is, like, once we have all the mechanisms in place to take the data in its various structures and export it to various formats, then it's easy. Like, we'll have Dropbox integration. So it's like, every 12 hours, take wherever I'm at and sync it with Dropbox. And so that the idea is, it's a paradigm shift. It's a new media. We're paperless here. What do you need files for when there's no paper? Is it so? But the ability to preserve and to back up and to own your own work, that is essential. And so that'll be handled by exporting. so you'll still own it. You can, if you want to download a file and store it, that's your prerogative. But
maybe set some sort of a recurring backup, like you can back it up every 15 minutes while I'm writing or something.
Yeah, or
like
if we
that.
needed a save button, or like, well, this is the type of thing that will evolve in response to conversations as it starts to come online too. Because we're still a little ways away from all that, but yeah, the goal is like total portability. The idea is the cloud is nebulous and vaporous and vacuous, and it's just when you need it to take form in different outlets, you tap it and you export to that form. You shoot to Dropbox. Eventually, I mean, I want to have it so that like with one button or at regular intervals, you're shooting to Dropbox, you're republishing your latest things back to Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Kobo. You're fetching your analytics on everything. I mean, like, so that's what I'm trying to continually encourage, is to kind of take the leap of faith into the cloud. Because, I mean, eventually we'll just be all wearing VR helmets until we upload our consciousness directly into it, right?
Into the beam, baby. Anita asked way up high, and I don't want it to get lost because we keep scrolling.
I don't want to lose Chrissy's comment.
Yeah, so Anita was asking how it compares to I forget the other one she said, but the other one was Ulysses, right? And we've talked about this before. I don't think there's any. I know this sounds cocky, but I don't think there's any writing app out there that is in existence right now that will do stuff that StoryShop Writer won't do. And we'll do it well, and we'll do it elegantly, and we'll do it
because it's a from zero reinvention.
Right. We're looking at everything that's available. We know what the indie community needs. We know what we need, and we are going to have a community around this who is telling us what it needs. And
the people asking the questions are the same ones that will be answering them. That's
right.
An important thing to remember.
Yes, that's very well said. So basically, I have every confidence that it's not going to happen right away. It's not going to. But I have every confidence that for writers, especially for indie writers who are making a living writing, StoryShop Writer is going to be the best writing app in the world.
So Chrissy's comment, and I think that this is important to address because I can see how the temptation here is to see this as this is a godsend for people who work collaboratively, but otherwise, like,
no, it's the best writing app.
So
it will
right.
be. That's our goal.
Chrissy's comment is, she says, this sounds good for people who write with other people. I don't think it would be better for me since I'm already familiar with and happy with Scrivener, but for collaborators, sounds awesome.
Well, what would
I
be
agree.
Better for
sounds
her,
awesome
we'll
for
that too.
Right. I mean, the idea is that it is a reinvention of what we feel is necessary in an ideal writing app. So your ability to track your own changes, version control, that sort of thing. I mean, what are some of the other things that would be less applicable to people who more applicable to people who write by themselves that isn't collaboration based that we would care about?
I think the integration with the planning tools is really important because to me, I don't, as someone who's dabbled in writing, I don't see myself as a collaborative writer. But the ability to like plan all the stuff, and it kind of offloads a lot of the cognitive burden of like carrying the stuff around, and you don't have to like keep notes in your actual writing space. Right? The idea that like things can just be, like 20 years from now when we're all, in the VR space or whatever, just being able to like call up the information as you need it, all of your research, all of your planning, like what's it all for if you're just going to keep it in your brain then, or like keep it in files in a folder somewhere, that like to be able to say, I want to know that and have it appear.
Yeah.
Like that's,
yeah. Right now,
that's way more exciting than collaboration.
When I'm in,
even though collaboration is exciting for collaboration. Go ahead, Dave.
When I'm in Scrivener right now, I have copious notes that I have in notebooks, spirals, everything, and I got to look at stuff. And it takes time, and it takes me out of the flow of the story. And when I'm out of the flow of the story, I'm not writing, and that's a negative thing. To be able to instantly look up stuff just like that within the same thing I'm writing in, that is a godsend. And yeah, there are ways to do it on Scrivener, but it's not easy. It's not there on the. If it were easier, I would have already done it and figured it out. But I don't have time to do that. So.
Yeah, and one thing to keep in mind is that this is very much like Planner. It's going to evolve. We don't know what the best writing app in the world looks like. We all know how we use our tools, and we know what we want out of our tools. And we have, very much like Planner, the three of us have got together with Seth and said, this is what we want out of a tool. This is what we need out of a tool, but that's just baseline. We don't know what
you don't know what you don't know.
Right. We don't know writers' best features yet because the community hasn't asked for them yet. We know, I think out of the gate, maybe a year from now, and Seth, correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, but I think a year from now, it will be a contender for the best writing app in the world, simply because, it's really being fostered by the indie community, and we're the ones who are making a living writing. Right. We're not writing one book a year. We're all writing, every day of our lives. And so it's tailored to that. But as the feedback comes in, and as, you get that community really swelling and saying, what if it did this? What if it does that? And what's exciting to me here is we've talked about this for years now, that ebooks fundamentally have not changed very much from print books. And I think this is our chance to really put our fingers in the clay and take a part in what ebooks are going to become. Because if we decide, like the idea of a choose your own adventure book, that could be maybe part of the structure of this could be very easily integrated to where our ideas can get bigger because our tools get better. And right now, the tools that are out there are designed to help us write the way we've been writing for 300 years, slightly evolved. And right now, we're trying to reinvent the way people are writing. We're asking bigger questions, and we're coming up with better solutions.
Wow, that's nothing else to be said. Drop the mic.
I've been so excited about this episode because, yeah.
Well, I was just going to say, to me, I absolutely love Scrivener, and to get me off Scrivener is a feat and a half. So this is going to have to be a phenomenal fucking thing. And I have every confidence that it will be, because if it's not, then I won't go off Scrivener. That's all there is to it. And I'm going to help shape this thing to be the thing that I want. And if this is a thing that works for us, then I'm going to guess it's going to work for most of the people out there.
Yeah, and to speak to that, getting in on the conversation, keep an eye out. In probably sometime next week, you'll see the first links to these Google Forms or some way to collect your input on very targeted questions so that everybody can have a say in it taking shape. And even though a year from now is when we're seeing amazing things, like for me right now, I'm very excited about the prospect, the possibility that we might have these tools available in time for like Outline October and NaNoWriMo, just a free writing tool for everybody with the option for planning. Like we may help a smaller percentage of people stall out mid-November by being able to write better stories faster.
To me, the most exciting thing about this is that there's sort of a microcosm view and then there's a macrocosm view, but it's all about the community and development. Is just selfishly, like since this is being developed by Sterling and Stone, it means that we, the three of us, are going to get the tool that we want. So I'm like, just remember, we're not creating something and then saying, you guys, here, you go use it. Like if it doesn't work for us, it's broken. Right. So like, I've been writing recently and I'll run across something and I'll be like, damn it, I wish it could do this. And I'm going to have a conduit to say, a very direct conduit to say, let's make that happen. Can we make that happen? But even more globally, everybody who's involved in this audience, in the self-publishing podcast community and everything, you guys too. I mean, that's what Seth keeps saying about the feedback being super important to the Story Shop beta, and then Story Shop once it's out of beta, and it's going to be very important to this, is there are needs that you may have as a writer that we've never conceived of and that we might even want to adopt, but we don't know those things. So it's going to be the community that uses this app that's going to be building it, which means that it kind of can't help but be the ideal app. So that's the most exciting thing to me.
Thank you, Seth. We're so glad you're part of the family. It's awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Yes.
It's been an awesome year. And I'm so happy we're back open. So
yeah, Yes, Story Shop is back. So, any remaining things to say, or it's been about an hour? Are we done?
Well, I know we're at the hour, but yeah, this is exciting. I've wanted to share. This is one of those. This has been the biggest cock tease because we wanted to talk about it a lot. We want this desperately. I think most in the company, it's Johnny and I, because we're collaborating every single day on all these different files, and it's just
version control has kind of become a bitch.
Yeah. So this is just really exciting. I'm excited that this is being built. We are very much so I guess this is the way to wrap it up. We were originally talking about having Story Shop kind of fund this. So as Story Shop grew and got enough users, we would use the users to pay for it and develop it that way. And we've decided, fuck that. It's going to take too long. We're just going to pay for development and accelerate it. And even though it's free and there's no way to make it up on the front end, we figure the bigger Story Shop grows as a community, the more people are using it, the more we'll grow later. So this is a very big investment on the company's part. Seth is showing his tattoo.
Yeah, Seth, do you have any proof that you are materially invested in this project?
Yeah.
It's got a Story Shop tattoo there.
Right. So that is. I mean, proof is absolutely in the pudding there. But that is the case for us here. We are as a team and as a company, we are very heavily investing in this. We're just going to put our money right where our mouth is. There's no Kickstarter for Story Shop Writer. We are just paying for it.
This is how we're going to go broke. Awesome.
Yeah. Well, there's possibility. Well, not a big one, but
I was going to save this for off the air, but I think there should be some monetary cost to it, but we can have that discussion another time because I think you're going to get a lot of free users that are going to have a lot of tech requests, and this could kill us.
Well, yes, but this is monetary users will come from people using Planner and other modules that have yet to be built. This is where we start.
Yeah, I think you get several orders of magnitude more people using it
right.
on the front end, which means you get another order in where they're paying.
Yes, it's a gamble, but our real problem there, Dave, isn't the support there. The real problem is the upfront cost of building Writer, and that doesn't change whether we pay.
Yeah, well, I know that is a big cost up front, but I know an ongoing cost will be tech from a lot of free people that, why isn't this working? Or how can I do this?
There's the Dave we love.
No, seriously, could you imagine? I mean, just all the things that, can possibly go wrong.
Well, we could always start charging for it.
Right. Because who's it going to be open to first? The people listening to this, the community, like they're not going to be. What did Seth just say? People are nasty on the internet, but I haven't had any of that. People have been awesome.
Well,
our community
once you open the doors,
and they shouldn't pay for it.
Once you open the doors to free, you're going to find some more nasty people. I guarantee it.
Well, that's probably true, but we'll cross that bridge.
There are tools in place to mitigate that too. I mean, we're paying $500 a month for our feedback system. So, and it has all kinds of stuff we have barely started to tap yet. Knowledge base, the fact that it's conversation first, support second. There's can respond. Like we have the tools to still provide top level service, but with the backing of a support tool that's as great as Story Shop will be a writing tool.
And how much money is Slack and Asana and Trello and these with freemium? How much are they making? They're doing okay. I think we can always implement a paid model later if we decide it's cost prohibitive. But
too much support is a high class problem.
Yeah,
too much support of a great product is a high class.
Yeah, we have to go into it with the mindset that it's going to be we don't plan for worst case scenario. We plan for best case scenario.
If I'm on the team, someone's got to bring reality into the picture. All right,
fuck that noise. We can adjust later, but we believe that it will be successful and that people, we have to give the world the
Dave,
benefit.
if we obey you now, you don't get to say Dave was right later.
That's very true.
I don't always like being right. Okay.
Look, you've got to think that we're starting this within our community, and our community always deserves the benefit of the doubt. So it's not like we're starting wide; we're starting small and spreading out. And
our community's awesome. Okay.
Yes, we want Story Shop Writer to hit our community for free. If we need to adjust later, we will.
But we also know, when you open wide and you just throw your stuff out there for free, people don't understand the value, they don't appreciate it, and there's a sense of entitlement that comes with it. And that's true for every like gaming, software, everything I've ever seen. There's that sort of entitlement that comes with people that don't appreciate and understand what's going on. So just putting it out there.
Well, that's true, but we can also course correct. Like if it becomes overwhelming, we could say, okay, it's now $20 or something. Like we could do that later. I just wanted to pull out, just in the spirit of, community is great and blah, 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 that MGN did call for a group flex. So just wanted to say that. So
I got no muscles. I got a flab to flex.
All right. So, oh no, that's funny.
Scott Moon says Candy Crush is free but made millions. I don't even want to get into freemium games because those are the fucking Satan.
Yeah, I hate Candy Crush. I wouldn't.
Wait, it's going to be Dave that paid there pushing upgrades.
Pissing Dave off, says MGN.
If you want to finish your story, pay 99 cents, or you can get a bucket of stories for $99. Fuck that.
There's that fisting funnel that we were talking about.
Oh, I listened to that episode yesterday. It made me laugh.
Is there going to be some fisting funnel? That's only on the show. All right, so that's it. And I just think group high five on this. I'm very excited about it. Dibs on doing the almanac on Writer. Just saying.
Oh, fuck you! I was going to record that literally tomorrow.
I was going to record it before the show, motherfucker. And if I didn't announce it, I was going to record it after the show because I haven't recorded one today. So unless you want to try and literally beat me to it.
No, that's fine.
Or give me another one. Give me another one so I don't have to think of a topic.
You got stuff to do, Sean.
Yeah, but I have to record two of them by the end of this weekend. I have to do it anyway, and I had two planned, and that was one of them. And I was waiting to do it until after this show.
And do the hard work of coming up with another topic that I actually want to do, and then you can have that one.
All right, fair enough.
All right, so thanks for being on, Seth. By the way, are we having Logan on Worst Show Ever to take dating advice from Dave?
I hope so. Hey, Logan, you're there. Are you coming on to take dating advice from Dave? If not, we should do Florida Man.
Okay.
Yeah, he can come on. Logan.
Awesome. All right.
Okay, so Worst Show Ever today is Dave gives Logan dating advice. This is going to be the best.
I saw if you give life advice to everyone. I think. Okay, whatever. Awesome. Okay.
All right, this is already my new favorite episode. I think it's going to beat Dave versus Aziz Ansari.
Don't set expectations high. We'll only disappoint.
Can we get on Aziz Ansari on to take dating advice from Dave? Oh, Seth just left. He was like, "Fuck you guys."
This is our first show that's run long, I think, since 2.0.
Yeah, it really has. All right, so thanks everybody for being on, and looking forward to great things with Story Shop Writer and all that. So.
And one last, thank you for being an awesome community that made this all possible, because without you guys, it's not. And I'm so excited I can't even hear Johnny today. So thank you very much, everyone.
Bye. All right. Thanks, everybody.